Everyone, Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Market conditions remaining bullish in this bull market. Can continue to move to the upside here. We're seeing overall momentum, which is moving up to this extreme range. We're approaching some of the most recent highs here around 457 on SPY, and we're seeing breadth, which is improving. Sentiment, it's already been good. So we've got a good looking setup here. The only thing that we're running into currently is we're out of this upper range. We're approaching this upper range. It can typically, when it gets near this area, it's going to start to stall a little bit. This is also based on S&P 500. We've got buy-sell ratio, which is also bullish right here at 3. So solidly bullish right here, but in that overall range where we could see some kind of a consolidation or a pullback, but there's a lot going on. Fear of missing out. People are just continuing to jump in the overall market right here. S&P 500. Let's look at that chart. We're seeing this overall pattern where again we're approaching these upper highs. We'll see if we push to that level in the next day or two without any kind of retracement, any kind of counter trend move, back up into this upper momentum zone, and that's kind of just the state of the market right here. So kind of waiting for either one or the other, a shot up to there towards that 158, 159 range, or some kind of a retracement to pull back in and maybe test this this level back at this 439. This is the 236 momentum location. We're solidly in that now, but on this kind of trajectory straight in the air. We've obviously seen this before. It can happen quickly, something like this back here to here. And in terms of a retracement, this is about all I'm expecting, is just something like this, just something to pull back, something to retrace and pause this overall uptrend and prepare it for more overall upside, yet maintaining this upper momentum zone. So we'll see what ends up happening here with the markets. But in terms of the overall perspective of the market, still quite bullish. Everything is buy, momentum or volatility is down. Bonds are still moving higher. Continuing to see bonds moving higher. On this 1 year time frame on TLT, we've got just broke through that 88 range and closed higher than the bar yesterday. It's a little bit hard to see right there. I'll zoom in just a minute. But that next real magnet is that 92 range on TLT. So if we can see now some retracement back into that $88 range and some support, and then find that support range and then look for an overall move to that upside, looking to retest that range. Bonds seem to have found their footing right here. We'll look at some shorter term bonds here as well with SHY and this 1 year time frame on SHY. We actually had a pretty big move a year or so ago in the spring, and then a big deep retracement, lots of volatility, and now working our way back up to that overall move. On the 6 month time frame, it's been working towards that upper range and continue to do so. So these are bullish for the market because interest rates are coming back down, and that's ultimately what the market is continuing to want to see, is inflation moving lower, interest rates moving lower. And at this point, we're certainly seeing that. If we look at sectors currently, let's run over to this page and look at sector ETFs. Everything's still bullish. We're still dealing with energy. Let's see where that's at, because we had a pretty decent move here in oil the last couple of days. Still sitting right on that 618 retracement, which is a really solid support area. So now we're starting to see it range inside of this move here. So we'll see which direction we break out. If we break out above this range and hold that area, again, that gives us this much support now for IYE to continue higher. Not that we want it to, right? Let's look at USO and a couple of other commodities here. We've got, let's look at gold to begin with. I'm going to move this over to this perspective just so we can kind of see the day. We had a gap lower on gold, and it ultimately closed higher. Yes, this was yesterday, so our trend, swing low, swing high, retraced right back into that 382 corrective level and bouncing up and then holding this 236. So back up in the momentum zone for gold. Let's take a look at USO and see what it's been doing. Bounced right off that 618 retracement, 3-part counter trend, 1, 2, 3, support buy zone, and then we're holding up above this 70 whatever that is. Let me delete that line, 71.5 area. So we're up in this next range, this next box. So watch to see if we hold support here, and then a retest of 74. That could continue to create a base for oil as it's attempting to move higher. If we look at some muscle stocks, let me refresh this page for us. And MREO, this is a nice looking little $2 stock, medical biotech, up in this upper buy momentum zone, 99 rank, solid support at that 236. Even after this most recent high, you can see that high point pulling back, and you can just see how clear that line is and where that support resistance. Even a pretty nasty day a few days ago, a sell off, some buying activity in here. Let's pull volume in and see what that, if we're getting some increase on that. Not much in the last few days. We did get a real big increase on this bar. Like don't know the news item that pushed that into that area, but nothing super interesting in the volume in the shorter term. Interesting price pattern there for some momentum to continue on that chart pattern. MNSO, this is one that keeps coming and going in and out of this buy list because it keeps moving back and forth from hold to buy, but solid confirmation bar right here, and in the upper momentum zone. This is an interesting one that really feels like it wants to break out and move higher. It's just now consolidating really tightly inside of this range. Look at all these indecision bars. You just got a ton of them right here. So lots of indecision on whether or not this thing wants to move higher. Decent volume spike yesterday, significantly higher than the prior day, and a decent confirmation bar. So MNSO, an interesting chart pattern there for today to consider. See if we get some follow through on that. YFP, oil energy, big gap off of this chart, 40% gap off of that chart. Sometimes they continue into the next day. Sometimes they retrace back in, but one to keep an eye on. Also have Riot Blockchain. This is one that has been really volatile. And you're seeing these crypto stocks, these mining stocks that are moving higher, moving lower, but it's setting up here a real solid range of support now for several months, and it seems like it's wanting to hold that range. A good solid close above $12 would be a great indication for it to move even higher to that next rung, which is $14. So keep an eye on Riot as well and any other stocks that are in that sector. That'll do it for today's update. If you don't have full access to the software, you can sign up with the link below, and we look forward to having you. Have a fantastic day today.